Well, as children prepare to return to the classroom, they're doing that this week, Family First has just released some essential reading for parents and caregivers. In fact, it could be one of the most important publications you read at the start of this school year. So, if you're a parent and your children are still school age or about to start attending school, you need to read our latest publication. The parent guide is entitled The Battle for Your Child's Innocence: How to Protect Your Children from the State's Radical Sexuality and Gender Ideologies in Schools. Now, as you know, we've already highlighted just how radical the curriculum is, which the government wants to target at your children. By the way, the previous Minister of Education, who oversaw a lot of this, is now the Prime Minister, Chris Hipkins, yeah. And of course, this indoctrination is even in primary schools, including, for example, this one in high schools, the R20 video, which the state broadcaster TVNZ is promoting on their youth news website, Read. Let me show you just a little excerpt and be prepared, it is offensive.
Some people find using the penis deeply uncomfortable and prefer to find alternative methods of having sex, depending on their preferences. The popular method is muffing. Muffing is when you or your partner fingers your inguinal canals located behind your scrotum, which can be incredibly pleasurable.
Yeah, okay, that's enough of that one. And parents have informed us that some secondary schools in New Zealand have instructed their students to watch that. It's a government-funded website. And this resource, which was given to 12-year-olds in a school in which the teacher concerned had pre-approval from the resource from senior teachers. And the teacher had just been on a training course with family planning, where they had recommended this type of resource. Explicit definitions of various types of sex, most of which you don't want your 12-year-old child exposed to. And the radical extreme gender ideology with all the definitions there that they want your child to learn. We've also warned you about the puberty change cards for your 9-year-old with these fun definitions. And there was this charming book with explicit sex images in a primary school library in New Zealand. There's also the guidelines from the Ministry of Education telling schools about how they can help your child identify as the opposite sex without you, as a parent, necessarily being informed. For 11 or 12-year-olds, your child is being instructed about how to talk to their sexual partner, where to get contraception and STI medical advice, and how it's all confidential. Don't tell the pesky parents. And discussing these types of activities. And some schools are telling your children that there are 112 genders and over 200 sexualities. Wow, who knew? Well, have you had enough yet? So what are your rights and how do you protect your children from this radical indoctrination? And in this new parent guide, you'll find out the following: recent developments around the curriculum, what do parents think about this material and what concerns have they already raised, and we've shared some of those with you. Also, what are some of the legal rights of parents? Also, what is the relevant law that parents should understand and quote when responding? Let me just show you that page. That they should respond when quoting to the school, the guidelines that the schools are receiving, being told and being pressured by the Ministry of Education, which we think should concern you, that they're being pressured on these areas. But even outside the sexuality education classes, we also highlight other school resources events to be aware of, including the so-called Pink Shirt Day, which is supposed to be about school bullying, but it's not just that. And also the Going with the Flow outdoor education resource and others. Most importantly, this parent guide gives you your action points as a parent, including key leaders to meet and events to attend, information about Board of Trustee meetings and how you can get information you require, and also request agenda items to be discussed, because remember that these boards are parents just like you and will likely share many of your concerns, hopefully. There's also some sample letters to enable you to request having your child protected from any classes you disagree with, and questions to ask in order to obtain the relevant information. Now, if you have your children in a faith-based school, an integrated school, these schools are also being put under pressure by both the Ministry of Education, but also by activists within the media. Just think Bethlehem College, eh? And we've highlighted some of the terribly biased attacks on that school, and it won't be the last time we see that. So there's some important commentary on faith-based schools and their legal rights and obligations in terms of religious content, values, and even the rights of these schools as to staff they can employ. And these values will likely match the expectation of parents who enrol their children at these schools. So that's why you chose that school in the first place. Even when the education may have cost more, it's worth it. So we encourage you and show you how to support the special character of the school, especially when it comes under attack by activists in the community and in the media. Now, the reason we published this parent guide, well, it's time to push back. It's time to say enough. It's because your voice and your courage is contagious, and respectfully speaking out will not only protect your own children, but it will have an inevitable and powerful influence on other parents who also want to protect their own children. And please remember, though you may choose to entrust your child to a school, parents are ultimately responsible for overseeing their child's education. Parents who proactively and positively engage with school staff and the leadership and the board are best positioned to influence and make a positive difference for the whole school community. So download this free guide from our website today, familyfirst.nz. Be the voice that your children need and that your local school needs to hear.